Okay, so good morning to you all. Yes, in this class we are going to study about 4 or 5 questions, and I think some of them have complained that they didn't understand the classes. So I think I'm taking only 3 or 4 questions per day. So it's easy to study, and I think you can revise it easily. So I'm not giving any burden to you. I think I'm just taking only 4 questions per day. If it is burden to you, I don't know how you will study other chapters and how you will pass the exam. So I think if you have any doubts, you can clear it at that time itself. So this is question and answering time. It's revision time completed, class completed. After all that, you are saying it's not didn't understand anything. It's not okay. So if you didn't understand anything, you just ask me. Okay, after the classes itself. Okay, next first question that we are going to study today is how are water and minerals transported in plants? How are water and minerals transported in plants? Okay. How are water and minerals transported in plants? So, we will say that xylem, parts, tracheids and vessels of roots, stems and leaves which are interconnected to form a continuous system. Okay, so the xylem, parts, tracheids and vessels of roots, stems and leaves are interconnected to form a continuous system of water conducting channels that reaches all parts of the plant. Okay, so transpiration which will create a suction pressure. This means suction pressure means a pressure that will use to take, which forces water into xylem cell of roots. So after this, there will be a steady movement of water from the root xylem to all parts of the plant connected through interconnected water conducting channels. Okay, so what we have said, xylem parts, tracheids and vessels of roots. Tracheids and vessels of roots. Okay, xylem parts, tracheids and vessels of roots, stems and leaves. Okay, which are interconnected. Okay, which are interconnected to form the water conducting channels. Okay, which will form a water conducting channels that reaches all parts of the all part of the body. Okay, all parts of the body of plant. So mainly the water and minerals which is getting to the plant is getting by the process known as transpiration. We have studied it. So it's using the transpiration the water is getting to the plants. So the transpiration which will creates a suction pressure, okay, suction pressure which forces water into xylem cells of root. Xylem cell of roots. Okay, so if the suction pressure is taken place, what will happen? Yes, there will be a steady movement of water from the root xylem to all parts of the plant. Okay, so there will be a steady movement of water from root xylem to all parts of the body. Okay, so will conducted through conducting interconnected water conducting channels. Okay, okay. So the next question is, second question is, how is food transported in plants? How is food transported in plants? So food is transported in plants by special organ called as phloem. As we know, the phloem is taking food from the plant body and giving to the all parts of the plant body. So transportation of food is food in phloem is achieved by expenditure of ATP energy. Okay, ATP it's a form of energy as we know. So food materials from leaf to different parts of the phloem will transport the food materials from leaf to body parts. Body parts. Okay, so the transportation of food in the transportation of food in phloem, which is achieved by ATP energy. Okay, ATP energy. Okay, and also increased osmotic pressure. Increased osmotic pressure in the tissue causing water to move. So this pressure moves material in the phloem to tissues with less pressure, and this is helping in transportation of food materials as per the needs. Okay, so example is sucrose. So, sucrose is getting into the plant body parts like this. Okay, so we studied now we studied two questions, that is how are water and minerals transported in plants, that is xylem parts tracheids and vessels of roots, stems and leaves which are interconnected to form a continuous system of water conducting channels that reaches all part of the plant, and the transpiration creates a suction pressure which forces water into xylem cells of root. After this, there will be a steady movement of water from the root xylem to all parts of the plant, which is conducted through conducting interconnected water conducting channels. Okay. Next is, how is food transported in plants? Food is transported in plants by special organ called as phloem, and phloem which will transport the food materials from the leaf to the different parts of a plant. And transportation of food in phloem is achieved by the expenditure of ATP energy. So this increases osmotic pressure in the tissue causing water to move. So this pressure moves material in the phloem to the tissues with less pressure. This is helping in transportation of food materials as per their needs. Example is that sucrose. Okay, now you read that, and after 10 or 5 or 10 minutes I will give the next question and you will answer it. Okay, you should not write like this in simple way like this. You should complete it into a what we say, in a complete line. You should you should write. Okay, don't write it as like this. You write it in a complete paragraph. Okay, two questions. Okay, so the next question is that. Next question is from the page number 112. Okay. So I think this will be the last question today because we have already finished. Next question is from your textbook, page number 112. Okay, that is describe the structure and functioning of nephrons. So describe the structure and function of the nephrons. So the nephrons are the filtration units of the kidney. Nephrons are the filtration unit of kidney. Okay, which are large in numbers. So nephrons are filtration units of the kidney which are large in numbers, and some substances in the initial filtrate such as glucose, amino acids, salts, major amount of water are selectively reabsorbed as the urine flows along the tube. Okay, so some substances in the initial filtrate, for example glucose, amino acids, salts, and major amount of water which are selectively reabsorbed. And urine flows. Yes, urine will flows along the tube. Okay, then main components of nephron. Okay, main components of nephron, which are glomerulus, okay, Bowman's capsule, long renal tube, structure of long renal tube. Okay, long renal tube, glomerulus, Bowman's capsule, long renal tube. Okay, so these all are the structure and functioning of nephron. So next, I think you have the what we say. You have the structure of that nephron in your notebook. So I don't want to I want to draw this picture. You just take your textbook and draw that picture in this answer, and you should study how to draw the structure of a nephron. Okay, don't forget. And after that, we want to write the functions of nephron. Function of nephron, which is the blood enters the kidney through renal artery. Okay, which will branches into many capillaries. which will branches into many capillaries associated with the glomerulus. Okay, associated with glomerulus. Okay. Second one, the water and solute are transferred to the nephron at Bowman's capsule. Water and solute are transferred to the nephron. Bowman's capsule. And in the third one, we have to say that in the proximal tubule, in proximal tubule, which some substances such as amino acid, glucose, salt are selectively reabsorbed. Okay, selectively reabsorbed, and unwanted molecules are added in urine. Okay, so what we have said about the nephron? Nephrons are the filtration units of the kidney, which are large in numbers. Some substances in the initial filtrate such as glucose, amino acid, salts and major amount of water are selectively reabsorbed as the urine flows along the tube. Main components of nephrons are glomerulus, Bowman's capsule and longitudinal tube. And after that, you should draw the picture of the nephron. After this, you should draw. You don't want to have any excuse. You should draw, because I think you are not repeating the question and answers after this. So that's why you are not understanding. So I'm saying that just draw after this and you study now itself how to draw a nephron. And after all that, you should know about the functions of the nephron. I only mentioned three of functions. The blood enters the kidney through the renal artery, which branches into many capillaries associated with glomerulus. The water and solute are transferred to the nephron at Bowman's capsule. In the proximal tubule, some substances such as amino acids, glucose and salts are selectively reabsorbed and unwanted molecules are added in the urine. Okay, so this is all about the nephron. So I am just concluding this class, and we will get you in the next question and answers and conclusion of this function of nephrons on the next class. So thank you for listening to this class. Stay home, stay safe.